college basketball. And I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to jump into this. The uh, the evening of Monday, January 22nd is what we're focusing on, and we have just a handful of games. So let's just get through these things real quick, and let's just go into the bet page, and uh, we'll start with Kansas at home to Cincinnati. This is probably the premier game of the night. Uh, we're saying Kansas at home 80-78. Vegas is saying they're going to win by 7.5. I think they're underestimating how good Cincinnati is. So we're going to go with the dog here, but with Kansas pulling out the victory on the money line. And I've noticed a trend here. Maybe you'll notice it too, but it seems like every single one of my picks are ending up taking the over. I think we have one tonight that didn't. We'll talk about it. Next up, Southeastern Louisiana versus Northwestern State. And I want to show you something kind of funny about Northwestern State, because I don't know where on earth this came from, but here's their record. I'll go find them here. And look, they started off the year, they lost their first 13, but now they're just destroying teams. Well, not so much Houston Christian, but they beat the daylights out of Incarnate Word and New Orleans. So at New Orleans. So I don't know if they're going to pull the same thing off. Southeastern Louisiana is not that great of a team. We'll see. But that's kind of an odd turnaround from going 0-13 to now having all this momentum. And that kind of is why I do the last 5 contests to help in these predictions, just because teams will catch hot, and they'll just stay on that hot winning streak, and it'll propel them. But for right now, there's only 3 games that they've been hot on. Southeastern Louisiana has the home court, so we're going to go with 74-72. Again, we'll look at it at the on the bet sheet. So 7.5. Southeastern Louisiana favors 7.5. We don't think so. If they're going to win, they're going to only win by 2. So we got the dog on that. We do have the money line as the home team, and again, we're on the over here. Yeah, if you can't understand how you read this, so this is the line, 138.5. That's what Vegas says. When I do the prediction, that's our predicted final score, and then this will be the live score or the real score. And so if it's above, and we played it, it's a win. If it's under and we played it, it's a win. Next is McNeese, who is a real live team. McNeese is going to do some. I think they're going to upset some folks as we go through the closer to tournament time. They're at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. We got them losing because that's college basketball, man. You can be a really good team, and you go on the road, and you're just not the same team. And that's the case here. So they're favored 5.5, and we don't think so. So we're betting an upset here. We're taking the dog. We're taking them to win. And anytime you see that plus, in this case, plus 188, that's an indication that you're taking the underdog, picking the true blue underdog on the money line. And that's what we're doing. That home court advantage, just really strong. So we got on the spread, we got the dog plus the money line, and then 141.5. We say it's going to go over. So that's our play. Colgate at home to Lehigh. So this happens from time to time. So minus 11.5, we say it's going to be a 12-point victory for Colgate. And there is the line, 11.5. It happens quite often. My numbers seem to be pretty close to what Vegas is doing. So 11.5, our odds are minus 106. If you don't understand that, just keep watching. It'll get explained. The money line's minus 780, so you don't win as much money on these higher numbers, just because it's easier to pick which team is going to win, and again, we're going to take the over here on the totals. Nichols at Incarnate Word. If you're not aware of all 380 plus Division I college basketball teams, these names may not be familiar to you because you don't see them in the postseason ever, but that's a real school. Actually, they're pretty good in football. So it's at Incarnate Word. They're getting 3.5 points from Vegas. So we say that Incarnate Word is going to win by 1. So we're going to take that 3.5, and there's your underdog play. There it is again. We got a number of them today. We'll see if they hit. When they hit big, and they sure do pay off well. And again, we're taking the over here. Lamar at Texas A&M Commerce. So we already talked about Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Now there's Texas A&M Commerce. So We're taking the dog here, 84-81. We think the game is at Lamar. We're taking the dog, but Lamar to win the game on the money line and taking the over here. New Orleans, who's been really just really dismal year for New Orleans, they've just been very unimpressive. Well, once promising program. At Houston Christian, 2.5 with plus 2.5. We say Houston Christian is going to win the game. Again, that's just nothing but the home team advantage, home court advantage speaking there. So another underdog bet. So plus 114. Again, I'm taking the over. Florida A&M at Mississippi Valley State. Really two really poor programs, but I think Mississippi Valley State is the lowest rated team in my system. I'd have to go look, but that's boring. So the worst team in college basketball is getting 8.5, and we're gonna say that they're gonna pull out a victory. So we're gonna take the dog, and we're gonna play the money line on the underdog, and we're gonna call it an upset. They're 0-18. They gotta win. They gotta win sometime, right? So and take that over. Here we go. Here's the under. Bethune-Cookman at Arkansas Pine Bluff. I know these are obscure schools. It can't be Kansas versus Baylor every week or every night. But these obscure schools got to play too, and I got all the data on them, so we're going to bet them. So Arkansas Pine Bluff laying at 1.5 with minus 114. We're just taking the favorite here to defend home court. We say it's going to be a 5-point victory, and if you notice, 164 is pretty high, but that's not as high as Vegas thinks it's going to go. So we do play the under here. I thought that was going to be a pretty high score. We always take the over. But Vegas is in agreement. It's going to be a high-scoring game. So that's the only under we're playing for tonight, and I can't explain why. Prairie View at Alcorn State, 69-77. Taking Alcorn here to cover and play the over. Just got attacked by something. Hofstra, which is a better team than Stony Brook, but they're at Stony Brook. Vegas has a minus 3.5. We're going to play the dog because of that home court advantage. So we're getting 3.5 points, and we're going to play again one more upset victory is what we're going for, taking that over. Jackson State hosting Texas Southern. This should be a pretty solid victory for Jackson State. Vegas is 4.5. We say 12, so we're going to take the favorite here to cover. And we're back to playing nothing but the overs. Okay, 2 more games left here. Weber State at Montana. Montana just went into Montana State and beat them. And Weber State, I think they lost to like Idaho at home, like something bad. So we don't anticipate Weber coming in and knocking Montana out. We just don't think that's going to happen. So Montana's laying a 0.5 point. And we think they're going to cover that just fine. Back to the overs. Finally, Montana State at home to Idaho State. 4.5 is the line. We say 8. That's our play, Montana State. Well, I think that's about all I got for today. We'll have more, just a light night on Monday. We'll have more for you next time you tune in. Thanks for watching.